Chapter 3 The Cards. About a year ago, Eliza and myself had a little difference of opinion. I mentioned to her that we had no visiting cards.
Of course not.
She said.
I should not dream of such a thing.
She spoke a little angrily. I answered, I do not intend to go without visiting cards another day.
What's the use? We never call on anybody, and nobody ever calls on us.
I shall order 50 of each sort from Amrod's this morning, I said.
Then that makes 100 cards wasted.
Either you cannot count, I said, or you have yet to learn that there are 3 sorts of cards used by married people. The husband's card, the wife's card, and the card with both names on it. I just walked straight out of the house, went down to Amrod's and ordered those cards. When the time comes for me to put my foot down, I can generally put it down as well as most people. Amrod printed the cards while I waited. The cards looked very well as they were, a little plain and formal perhaps, but very clean, except in the case of a few where the ink was not quite dry, and very satisfying to one's natural self-respect. That evening I took a small box and packed in it very carefully some of the nicest flowers from the garden and one of our cards. On the card I wrote, "With kindest love from," just above the names, and posted it to Eliza's mother. So far was Eliza's mother from thinking that the money for the cards had been spent unnecessarily that she sent Eliza a present of 5 shillings and a parcel with 3 pounds of veal and a nice apron. I only mention this little happening to show whether, in this case, Eliza or I was right. I put a few of the cards in my pocket and the rest were packed away in a drawer. A few weeks afterwards, Eliza told me that number 14 in our road had been let to some people called Popworth. That must be young Popworth who used to be in our office, I said. I heard that he was going to be married this year. You must certainly call and leave cards.
Which sort and how many?
Leave enough. Say 1 of each sort for each person in the house.
How am I to know how many persons there are?
See if they get their provisions from the same shop as ourselves, and if so, ask the shopkeeper. On the following day, I said that I thought that Popworth must have come in for some money to be taking so large a house, and I hoped she had left the cards.
I asked the shopkeeper, and he said there was Popworth, his wife, 2 sisters, a German friend, and 11 children. That means 16 persons and 48 cards altogether. You see, I still remember your rule.
My dear Eliza, I said, you ought not to have left 48 at once.
Oh, do you expect me to keep running backwards and forwards, leaving a few at a time?
But, good heavens, that Popworth can't be my Popworth. If he's only married this year, he can't in the nature of things have got 11 children. And a house like this? Can't call on a house like that unless there is some reason for it.
That's what I thought.
Then why in the world did you call?
I didn't. Who said I did?
I began to feel a little happier.